And we are live. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Today we're going to have a quick session. I'm going to be joined by Alvin Reyes, and we're going to go through a quick little demonstration of the new documentation portal for Tridion sites. It looks fantastic, and we'll talk a little bit about the underlying technology for it. And then we'll talk about some of the events, and we will get going. So let me go ahead and I'm going to enable the screen to show you the quick demonstration of the documentation portal, and we'll also have Alvin in the screen as well. So let me go ahead here and first I'll bring on Alvin to do. All right, Alvin. Welcome, welcome to the podcast. You're also going to talk to us a little bit about Lavacon and some of the things that you saw and some of the trends that you saw over at Lavacon. So
Yes.
to kick things off, let me go ahead and share my desktop. So if you go to docs.rws.com, you'll now notice that you've got a brand new documentation portal. This documentation portal, and I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but we actually use Tridion Docs to create the documentation portal, and you might have noticed that in the past, search was a little bit strange, but we've now adapted the Tridion content into the new Genius portal. And so the Genius portal is great because it not only allows you to have a publication endpoint for your Tridion Docs content, but we've also incorporated some really cool features, such as AI in this portal. So and I think you're going to see this as a trend coming through. Like in a lot of websites, you're going to start using the classic search box a whole lot less, and you're going to start using the AI chatbots that are available to retrieve content. So the nature of your interactions with content is going to be a little bit different. So let's say if I've got a question like, how do I create a blueprint, everybody's favorite topic, you'll be able to get the answers right away. And it's going to be much less frustrating for you as somebody who's looking for answers about like Tridion sites functionality. You'll be able to just get the answers much sooner. And sometimes with traditional documentation, the right answer might be spread across several different topics. With this, with the Genius AI chatbot, you're able to get the answer and sort of get everything collated in a single place. It's super powerful. You're of course able to expand it out, get more information. You also get recommendations that come through here. So where you are on the knowledge graph, you're going to get suggestions as to like neighboring topics that are there. We even have a way for you to nicely sort of visually go through and explore the different types of we call them hexahops, so sort of neighboring concepts that are available. And this is also mobile friendly, and it looks really great on a mobile device because you're able to see a stacked path of hexagons, which are the related concepts. So this is a very powerful feature. The thing that you might notice as you're exploring through, and by the way, feel free to give us feedback on the community about what you think uh, about the new Tridion portal. You might notice that some of the recommendations might not be perfect, etc., but the recommendations are all sort of based off of how we've organized our content, how we've tagged our content. And yes, I will be like the first to admit it's not always perfect. There might be some content that's been tagged, incorrectly, etc. But those are the same types of things that you're going to find as you start to bring in AI technologies into your own environment. So that's something to consider as well. Is the content hygiene, how well you've structured your content, how well you've applied metadata tags to your content is actually going to have an impact on these downstream AI tools that are available. Um, so I'm just going to stop this for a second, and I'm going to go through and tell you about a couple of events that are coming up. So the first thing is if you go to your browser and you just type in Tridion.com, you'll get taken to the product area of RWS, and that's a very useful thing to do. So because at RWS we've got a number of different products, etc. But so just type in Tridion.com, because then you can just click on the resource and events page, where you can see the events and webinars that are coming up. Now, the first one that I think you should think about is the What's New in Tridion Sites 10.1. So that's the launch webinar, which I'm going to be doing with Joe Perriman on the 4th of December. So I highly recommend signing up for that webinar. It's very easy to do. We're always trying to do it at the same time, which is this time, 7 a.m. Pacific. That gets us enough people or it's a good time for our worldwide audience. The second thing that I want to let everybody know about is we're really going to be exploring the travel and hospitality vertical with Tridion Sites much more in 2025. So we're going to have some thought leadership sessions, some thought leadership webinars, and then we're going to have some other webinars, which is about the application of the technology to the travel and hospitality sectors. So as a lot of you guys know, we've got a number of different airlines, we've got a number of different hotel chains, etc. And we have some solutions that are specifically geared to that vertical. So not to say that we can't do some more specialization in some other types of verticals, but we want to start off with just some thought leadership around the top travel and hospitality sector. So with that, I think I'm going to stop sharing and bring Alvin into the live stream. So welcome, Alvin. So I just went through. I showed a little bit about the new documentation portal that we have, which is based off of Tridion Docs and the and Genius. And there was a couple of things that are interesting about it. So on the one hand, if you're a Tridion Sites customer and you don't yet have Tridion Docs, you might consider talking to us, because if you've got a lot of documentation, multiple products, etc., Tridion Docs is very good for managing content that requires a little bit of a different type of organization than what you get with Tridion Sites. So Tridion Docs is a DITA based component content management system. So it follows the content models as have been defined by the Darwin information type architecture. And it's something that can be very useful. I'll also mention that if you're a Tridion Sites customer and you don't want to necessarily go for Tridion Docs to get some of this AI functionality, we also have another tool called AI12Z that can be used in conjunction with Tridion Sites to give you that same type of automated AI chatbot functionality just within Tridion Sites. So with that said, Alvin, welcome to the live stream, and tell us about Lavacon.
Greg. So LavaCon is a content strategy and technical communication management conference. They're known for strategy, technology. Vendors are there, and they also do karaoke, which is quite fun, and llamas. But you gotta attend to meet the llamas.
Uh,
And so I presented on goal-oriented content delivery,
mhm.
which is about Genius and the motivations and ideas behind it, going beyond AI search and quote unquote one right answer. And the main point of the presentation was that AI is here, and I got to tease AI the AI fails in the presentation. So I owe everyone a blog post on some of those. And ultimately, you need both people, good content, a good content strategy, and AI to create a good experience. So in those hexa hops that we're showing, um, that's partly driven by taxonomy, recommendations based on your content, and in the back end, there is an option to let your writers use AI to adjust their content We have an algorithm to check the reading level. That's not AI based. That's a little bit more trusted on
Mhm.
the back end side. And anything else I wanted to say from LavaCon? Yeah, that was it was fun presenting on beyond one right answer. This might be a presentation or a similar one you've seen from colleagues Joe and Jorg, and I was happy, really excited to present on that. One thing I've seen with Genius already is uh, one of the complaints I've heard about documentation is people looking for something and not being able to find it. And one of the challenges is when the content that you're looking for really isn't in um, in the documentation. So, for example, we rely on uh, third party third party tools, libraries, formats, and stuff like that. So you won't see a description of, say, JSON in our documentation portal. Then the assumption is this is familiar to developers and whatnot.
Mhm.
So I was asking, does Genius have a certain feature? And the bot came back to say there uh, we don't have that. There's no mention of that specific feature, but here are other things related to it, and which I found impressive because
Mhm.
rather than trying to search and look and read everything and look for everything, I was able to get a sense of like, is this a thing or not in Genius?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that, I think that if people sort of start to take a look at what that experience is, with using, AI-based chatbots or using the Genius portal, I think that I was just amazed at how well things worked. And even if they are like a little hiccup here or a little hiccup there, it's actually like such a vast improvement over the previous, search for a topic, find a topic, open up the topic, be dissatisfied with the answer that you get and having to redo the search. I think it
Yeah.
really gives you some nice pointers, and I think that the way that the chatbot works, where you can get some references to like specific areas, like how how the AI bot came up with this, with the synopsis and with the phrase, and how you can actually go back to the source article is incredibly powerful. So you can always like trace take the information that you're getting from the chatbot and then
Yep.
go back to the source. So I think it's really useful, and there's so many different use cases for using it. It's not just for the publicly facing website. If you've got, let's say, an intranet, it can also be useful for finding content within that intranet. If you've got agents who typically have to get information that's available from multiple places, it could also be super useful for them as well. um, so yeah, that's a future. And we're here to we're here to help you along the path. And there's several different options, as I mentioned before. So if Tridion Docs is just not in the cards, we also have other solutions that are available that we can use just with Tridion sites as well. So
Yep.
uh,
Yeah.
now, I want to also say, because I was about to forget this, we're going to be having some boot camps in December. So we're going to have those recorded as well. So middle of December, be prepared to see some additional information about these boot camps. We're going to post them to YouTube, and this is for all the people who really want to get deep into the technology. So for everybody who wants to just learn about the functional stuff, come join us on December 4th for the launch webinar. For the people who want to get deep into the technology, come and join us, or come see the boot camp videos that we're going to be publishing mid-December. We're really looking forward to the 10-1 launch, and we're going to probably have some additional webinars just on content modeling and like the impacts of the Blueprinting 3.0 feature on content modeling, because it's a huge deal, and I think a lot of customers don't quite yet realize the impact of what you can do now with the granular blueprinting feature.
Yes. And you don't have to change everything right with the release.
Right, right,
So it's
right, exactly.
we're
You know,
we're
we're
very
always
respectful of
backwards
your
compatible.
existing
Yes,
yeah,
thanks.
your
Yeah,
existing
yeah,
content
we don't
model.
wanna, scare anybody off from going to 10.1. Everything will still work, but you now have this opportunity to make your content models much, much more efficient. Um, alright, so we're at the 15-minute mark. Any final closing thoughts, Alvin?
I was just gonna mention for Tridion Docs, and Data has a lot of the features that I've heard from Tridion Sites customers.
Mhm,
Conditional content, it's modular approach similar to Sites, and especially version content and delivery. Sites from a web perspective let you publish the latest and greatest and have versioning control on the content manager. Docs also does that on the content manager as well as through delivery. So if you have those use cases, there are some cases where sites or docs might be a good use case.
mhm.
And I also definitely recommend checking out Genius. Play with it, give us some feedback, and yeah,
Yeah,
excited about that.
yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Tridion Sites and Tridion Docs content both get delivered through the Tridion DXD Content Hub. So you've got two specific types of authoring platforms for specific types of content that all get delivered through the same content hub. And I think that's a very key value about what we have as an offering. With
Definitely.
that said, we're a little bit over. We'll see everybody on December 4th for the event. So for the launch event, and then we're also going to see everybody, I guess, the following day for this live stream. Maybe we'll do a debrief of how the launch webinar went. All right. Thank you, Alvin.
Take care. Okay.
Okay.
Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.